is a full professor in the School of Tourism Management at Yat-sen University, which is a really, really great achievement. Becoming a full professor in China is very different story of Korea. Korea is a bit more entering hurdle is high rather than uh, promotion to be a professor. But in China, it's become full professor is another level. So it's congratulations, and where he obtained his PhD in 2012. Wow, quite a long time ago. His research
Yes.
interests include tourist behavior, destination marketing, and destination governance, and tourism entrepreneurship. He has published widely on Chinese tourist behaviors, and especially Chinese backpacker motivation and social identity and personal development and vocation, perceived destination, restorative politics, as well as various tourism governance issues in China, and reading tourism journals, including Annals of Tourism Research, Journal of Sustainable Tourism, and Journal of Travel Research and Tourism Management. Currently, he serves as associate editor of Tourism Review, Tourism Planning, Development, and Tourism Forum, and sit on the editorial board of a number of leading journals, such as Journal of Travel Research, Tourism Management, and Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Research. He was awarded Outstanding Young Scholar by the International Association for China Tourism Study in 2020 and become a fellow of the association in 2025. Wow. Please welcome Professor Ganghua Chen. Okay, stage goes to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Ku, for your kind invitation for me to present at Ganghua University. Thank you, the organizing committee, the organizing team of this seminar. Ganghua University is one of the top universities, not only not just in the area for tourism and hospitality, but also for other very important disciplines. So I'm very happy and very honored to be here online. Okay, today I'm going to let me share my slides. Please
Sure.
wait for a moment. So can you see my slides now?
Sure. Yeah. Please
Okay, thank you.
turn on the slide.
Uh, so so can you see my slides now?
I can see it, but please make it large.
Make it larger,
Slideshow.
right?
Uh,
It's on the full screen.
okay, can you make it slideshow?
Yeah. I think it's let me
Okay. Yeah.
it's
Yes. Click. Good.
clear, right?
Yes.
No, please have a moment. Take a moment. I need
Yes.
to hope it. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I believe that it is not very hot now, but definitely it is fundamental to doing good research.
Mm,
It is not about a very top popular topic, for example, the AI or smart tourism or big data or
mm,
experiment. We are going to talk about measurement scale development in tourism. So when I say tourism, of course, I mean tourism and hospitality, and sometimes even leisure. So in China, tourism is a very broad term to include many different things. I
Professor
understand that.
Chan,
Mhm,
uh,
mhm.
the slide is still
The first page, right?
please go to the first page.
Yes, this is the first page.
No,
This is the
no,
first page. No?
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
try
okay. This
again.
is yeah, okay.
Let me try again.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sorry. Can you see the slides now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let me. Oh my. Now?
Yes, yes. And
So,
please make your slide too large. Okay, please.
so
Yes.
is this working?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Uh,
In my computer, it is the second. Now it is the second page.
no, in our computer is your first page.
Now?
Uh,
Okay. Oh, let me. Oh, that must be a problem. Okay. Let me. The second page now in my computer. Can you see the second page?
no, it's the first page.
It's still the first page.
Uh-huh.
Let me. No, but you can see my.
Okay, it's second page now.
Now, okay, so I needed to play the
Okay,
whole. Can you see the
so
third page now? The third page.
now it's
Now I'm
second
playing this.
is
Now it's the second page, right?
yeah, second page.
Now the third page. Can you see the third page?
Not yet. Okay, this. Okay, now third page.
The third page. So when
Okay.
I use the function of playing the whole slide, so you can't see
No,
the slides moving. You can't see the slides moving, right?
no.
So
Your slide.
can I just use this model?
Sure. Good. Let's go.
Okay, let's okay.
Mm.
So actually, I understand for some of you, the title might sound a little bit old, or maybe a little bit technique. You might be thinking, why do I need to develop a measurement scale when I can use the established one? So I will try my best to make my presentation easy to follow and because this is a methodological topic, so I will try to uh, be slow, and I will try to use very simple English. I will make sure that the PhD students, the master's students can actually have something to take home. So the objective of my talk are the following five. The first one, I will introduce the very big background of skill development, the psychometrics as a science, as a subject. And then I will talk about something about the questionnaire. We use a scale. We include skills in the questionnaire to collect data. And then I'm going to tell you something about a measurement scale. And then I will introduce a recent study that has not yet been published. It's still under writing. We haven't finished writing this paper, but I would like to share with you some of the up-to-date progress of measurement development in hospitality and tourism. And then finally, I will share some of my experiences on how to develop and validate a measurement scale, especially in our field of tourism and hospitality. So what is psychometrics? So if you break down this word, it's quite literal. Psycho means mental, means the mind, and metrics means the measurement, the quantitative research. So in a very simple definition, psychometrics is the process, is the science of measuring mental capabilities and processes. So when we talk about mental capabilities or capacities or process, we are talking about human abilities, personalities, and mental health. Of course, psychometrics is conducted by using a certain psychological theory or even a lot of theories, and we needed to operate the whole procedure by a scientific tools. So it is a legitimate branch of psychology. It is a widely recognized branch of psychology, but we still needed to uh, broaden our horizon a little bit. Sometimes when we talk about psychometrics, we do not just talk about psychometrics in a very narrow sense. Actually, today, people are doing a broader science of psychometrics. That is what we call generalized psychometrics. It is actually a emerging field uh, that develops more flexible and more advanced psychometrics, especially those psychometric models to mirror those those latent constructs. So, in addition to the traditional measurement tools, we also include those other methods, for example, observation, interview, questionnaire survey, and experiment, and even psychophysical test. So when we talk about psychometrics, of course, it involves mirroring, measurement, analysis, and then evaluate. So in this context, quantities, human quantities, refers to the personal characteristics. So in tourism and hospitality, we often talk about, we often measure perception, skills, abilities, temperament, emotions, personalities, interests, and motivations. So those quantities actually, no matter what you do, what area you are in tourism and hospitality, they serve as a foundation for theoretical examinations to find the consequences, to find the antecedents. So this is a very important uh, foundation. So how can we do? How can we do psychometrics? So we need to have all kinds of method. So by definition, I'm not going to say that psychological test is the only method, the only way to conduct a psychometrics study, but it is a very important one. By definition, psychological test, or you can say mental test, is the process of quantifying human activities, human psychological activities. You need to give numbers. You need to quantify our psychological behaviors, about our cognition, about behavior, and about emotion. In tourism and hospitality, it's about destination image, about our perceived value, about our actual behaviors, and our emotions. So, uh, in my presentation, and actually in psychological studies, when it comes to the meaning, there is actually no fundamental differences between psychological test or mental test and psychological measurement. Psychological test, mental test, is actually a primary tool, a primary method of psychological measurement. So let's move on to the basic classifications of psychological tests. As you can see from this slide, if we classify by function, we can have actual versus potential ability test. We are very familiar with general ability tests. For example, the IQ test, right? You take an IQ test, and the examiner would give you a score which shows your actual your general ability, your fundamental ability. And we also have specific special abilities tests. For example, we can have a musical test, we can have a sports test, we can even have a flying capability test. If you use the pilot aptitude test, you can know how good you would be at flying, driving an airplane. And by function, we also have another type of psychological tests. That is what we call the personality test. For example, the Big Five model. So if you take this test, you would like to, you would probably know your personality, your character, your character. So, but if we classify psychological tests by method, we can we have performance tests, practical assessments. They are not they are not absolutely from the classification by function, but they are those kinds of all the psychological tests are classified by different standards. We have oral tests. For example, if you take the English language test, it is actually a ability test, but you needed to speak out. You needed to speak English to finish the oral test. And then let's talk about the paper and the pencil tests. It is actually a test that requires you to use a pen or a pencil to write down your answers on the paper. There are a lot of questions. You needed to answer the questions. Then we move on to scale, or what we always say measurement scale, because a scale in English have different meanings. But now in psychology, we we mean measurement scale. So actually, a scale is essentially uh, a measurement scale, but it is more rigorous. And a scale can be regarded as a ruler. With this ruler, we can we can measure the attributes of different things. A ruler is used, actual ruler is used by a person, a worker, but measurement, a psychological measurement skill is used by researchers to know what's happening, what happened in human mind. So scales are normally included in the questionnaire. In the questionnaire, we have different questions. Many of them are open-ended questions. Many of them are actually in the form of scales. So let's move on to a very brief introduction to what is a questionnaire. Why before I move on to this the first part and now the second part is because I was told that the audience is mostly PhD students and master's students. So
Yes,
I would
yes.
like to have a warm up, and then we will come to the key context, the key content of my presentation.
Okay.
So what is a questionnaire? Maybe it's for us to review, okay, a little bit. So a questionnaire is, of course, a research instrument. We use this kind of survey. We use this kind of survey instrument quite a lot in tourism and hospitality. For me, I do use questionnaire surveys. I use big data. I also conduct interviews. So I'm a quantitative researcher and I'm also a quantitative researcher. So I use mixed methods, but questionnaire is very important in my research.
Uh-huh.
So questionnaire has many has at least two advantages. The first one is all the respondents are asked for the same question in the same order, in the same manner to ensure data comparability. And it is a diversified, it is a multifunctional data collection tool because we can include social demographic data questions. We can also use open-ended questions. We can use multiple scales. So this is an example of questionnaire. Actually, this questionnaire was designed about 5 years ago. So we can have we use this when we use this questionnaire, we can collect data on respondents' tube characteristics, and we can include many other skills. This is a skill that we want to develop and we want to validate. So it can be presented in the form of a table. So respondents are requested to take, and then we can also include the general measurement, not just in tourism and hospitality, but they want to measure the general self-efficacy. And we can also include those personality questionnaires. And we can actually at the very end of a questionnaire, we can also design open questions to collect information about what respondents want to say in addition to answering those questions. So I'm not going to go. I'm not going to the details of questionnaires, because many of you may have known a lot of things about questionnaire designs. But as a warm up, I will still talk about this slide.
Okay.
If you design a questionnaire, because many students they think they know how to design a questionnaire, but actually it turns out that they missed many important elements. So a cover letter is very important because it tell us and tell the respondents the purpose, the significance of this survey, and it will tell the respondents how to take or how to mark their answers. So I would like to give you some maybe tips or maybe reminders. The cover design, you need to be very specific. You needed to tell the it is actually a polite way to approach those potential respondents when they receive a questionnaire. They read. Sometimes you talk to them, ask them to accept your invitation. Sometimes you don't have enough time to explain, so you need to write something to tell the respondent about who you are, about the purpose of your questionnaire, and more importantly about the research ethics, which means those respondents would agree to participate in the survey, and the data will only be used for academic research and will not be open to commercial uses. And here I want to remind that when you design a questionnaire, it is very important for you to specify how should the respondents mark their answers, because in different cultures, a tick or a cross can mean different things. In China, maybe in other area cultures, we use tick to show this is the answer. But maybe in some Western countries, they use cross. They use a cross to show this is my answer. So as you can see from this slide, you have to take your answer. In China, some other people, many other respondents, they use circle. So when you tick something, or when you circle something, or when you even use a cross, so some people, I would like to say, I use a cross to show my answer. But for some other people, when you use a cross, which means it is not my answer. So we needed to be very specific. When you see an answer which is marked with a cross, we don't know how to judge. So this is why I would like to spend a few minutes on this slide. This is as you can see, we are very specific. You can only tick. You cannot circle, or you cannot cross. Let's move on to this slide. As you can see, in America, or maybe in the UK, people use cross to check the answer, to mark the answer. So we needed to be very make very careful. Another important point is a lot of people, a lot of students came to me, ask me about this question. Should we put the items about social demographic characteristics in the beginning or in the very end of questionnaire? To me, I think the first important thing is sensitivity. For some group of tourists, for example, the Gulf tourists, they are very sensitive. If you ask about their salaries, their positions, their marriage status, they would be very sensitive, and they sometimes when they are given this questionnaire, they would quit, right? So in this case, you can put all these questions at the end of this questionnaire. Sometimes they just don't fill in those questions. Okay, that's not a very big problem. For Gulf tourists, the basic social demographic characteristics are very clear. You don't have to ask them. You can ask the golf club, right? But for some, if the targeted respondents, they are not sensitive to the social demographic characteristics. Okay, you can put them in the beginning and to screen and to uh, uh, and uh, and you can also put them at the end of the questionnaire. And another important point is that because this is a very official instrument, a very important tool for collecting data. So I always pay attention to the readability, to the layout of the questionnaire. So this is also a point for us to consider. If we put it in the very beginning or the very end of the questionnaire, does the whole questionnaire look tidy, look well organized? So let's move on to the key part of my presentation today, the third part, the fourth part, and the fifth part. We are always faced with a very important question. That is, when we need to create a questionnaire, we want to have many scales to measure what we want to measure. For example, we want to measure tourist satisfaction. We want to measure tourist perceived values. Their memorable tourism experiences. Can we or should we develop a new one, or should we just adopt existing one? So the answer is very simple. It depends. That depends if there is or there are well-established measurement scales. For those very mature areas in psychology, for personality or for characters, we can use those well-established ones. But in tourism, in hospitality and tourism, which is an emerging area, we have so many different new phenomena. We need to conceptualize them, and we need to operationalize them. We need to measure them, but we couldn't find a existing scale. So we needed to maybe we needed to scale a new one. So as a beginning, as a foundation, I would like to talk about a little bit about the definition of a scale. As we mentioned, a scale is a measurement instrument. A measurement in a measurement scale, there are a lot of items. So we do have one item measurement, but in social sciences, a lot of researchers have proven that single item measurement is not valid enough. Is not so we need it is not considered a scale. When we say a scale, we mean a lot of items. So after we collect data through measurement items, we need to calculate a composite score, and it is used to reveal the level of a theoretical variable or a construct. For example, satisfaction, right? Perceived value. They are very they are subjective. They are subjective. You can't observe people's satisfactions or their perceived values. You needed to ask them. They needed to tell us. So it's subjective, and sometimes it is abstract. For example, people's abilities. They needed to have a test to show us how capable they are, and so uh, uh, at the end, numbers are given. Numbers are assigned to the characteristics, uh, the variables of the objects according to specific rules. We have rules for respondents to follow, or for us to calculate. So we are going to talk about 4 different measurement scales, actually at different levels. The first one is nominal scale. Nominal scale is actually about types, about different categories. They are not going to be compared. You don't have to compare those different categories. For example, gender, male or female. You can just choose one. Yeah, you take one, but you don't have two. We can't compare. There is no meaning of comparing male and female. The respondents, they are not supposed to compare, and you don't have to rank those categories. So nominal scale. So this is a nominal scale, as we talked about, right? All you needed to do is to take your answer, so we can calculate the percentages. So we will know that 50% of the respondents stayed in the economy hotel. Okay, that's it. So we are not talking about if economy hotels are better than B&B. No, we are not talking about this. Ordinal scale. Ordinal scale is, of course, they are about the ordinal scales. They are about categories, but more than that, you need to give a rank. You need to compare those different categories. So, but they are ranked in a logical order. But the differences between each category, they are not even. They are not equal. They are not given. We don't know. So it has no equal intervals. The intervals are not equal, and there is no absolute zero. Even if there is a zero, it doesn't mean anything. It is just a man-made zero. So please look at this example. This is an example from one of my research project in Guangzhou. This is you can also use your own cases. Before visiting the Chen clan ancestral hall in Guangzhou, my attitude towards understanding and learning about history, culture, art, and folklore is, so the respondents, they are supposed to tick one. So is this a nominal scale or a ordinal scale? Sometimes my students are confused. Number 1, resistant. Number 2, avoidant. Number 3, curious. Number 4, expectant. Number 5, yearning. So some students told me, oh, there is a progression of emotion, of attitude, but actually 2 points. 2 points you needed to be reminded. The first one is that there is no progression. They are just different categories. Number 2, number 2 point is that you are not asked to rank the order. No, you're not requested to rank the most beautiful iPhones. No, Huawei, Google, Huawei, iPhone, Samsung, or other other mobile phone brands. No, you are not supposed to, you are not asked to rank them. So this is still a nominal scale about categories, about the different types. So this is the scale that we are going to talk about, and this is also one of the most widely used type of scale in hospitality and tourism research, interval scale. As you can see, an interval scale is a measurement scale with equal and meaningful distances between venues, but without a true 0 point. Even if it has a true 0 point, it doesn't mean anything. It is a man-made 0 point. So based on this interval scale, we can know not only we can know not only if two items differ on a certain characteristic, but we also know how much they differ. And in the interval scale, the difference between 1 and 2 is the same as the difference between 2 and 3. So this is what we say in interval, equal interval. So the commonly used Likert scale is often treated as a typical interval scale. Actually, strictly speaking, it is an ordinal scale, but we believe that, for example, the difference between disagreeing to agree is equal to uh, to to other intervals. We in social sciences, and another very typical example is the temperature. So the differences between 1 degree to 2 degree is equal to 2 degree and uh, 3 degree Celsius. The 0 point is a man-made unit, is a man-made unit. It doesn't have a meaning. So would you like to have a very simple quiz? So do you think this is an interval scale? Now, this is a scale, right? Do you think this is an interval scale? Actually, it's not an interval scale. Although there is two different categories, yes or no, and it was given numbers, but it is actually nominal, a nominal scale. And all you needed to do is to tick, and then we calculate the total number. The higher the score is, the more unstable your emotion. So this is about everyday emotional stability. And this is an interval scale. So we assume in our research the difference between strongly disagreeing and disagree is the same between disagree and neutral. So we have different, so we have 5 numbers. We needed the respondents, they have to choose one. They have to choose one. All the respondents, you can only choose between 1 to 5. So what about 1.5? Maybe a respondent, oh no, but no, you can't. Maybe you have a psychological state that is between strongly disagree and disagree. No, you have no choice but to take 1 or 2.
Professor Huang
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Chen,
mm-hmm,
I have a question for this scale,
mm-hmm.
page 28. Page 28.
28. Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, we have a self-efficacy concept. In order to measure this self-efficacy, we use items 1 to 8. Okay, and
Oh, yeah.
uh, some of researchers and they use only 4 items rather than 8 items uh, because 8 items is very good for measuring the whole self-efficacy concept. However, uh, in a paperwork, we have several other variables as well. We have include. In that case, it's too many questions. It's not so good to measure one variable, and also many items is not much necessary to measure one concept. And if we too much items for one concept is probably the question is too long and lengthy, and probably the answer participant pretty much
Oh, yes.
not so happy to give the
Professor Ku, this is a very important issue. So this is why we have short version scales. This version is a widely used one. It has 8 items. It is actually a shortened one, but still, as we said, right? We conduct questionnaire surveys. We want to include as many variables as possible, right? So we need to simplify to shorten the scales. So here comes a strategy. Actually, for many well-established scales in psychology, they have first they have a short variant, and the short variant is developed and validated by the original authors. But the shortened variant still has to go a very strict process of validation, so we can use it. So if you, for example, we take this scale, for example, this is the original one, but I want to use a simple one, a simpler one. So maybe, but to be honest, we don't know the background of this research.
Okay.
So sometimes it is not appropriate for us to simplify other people's
Okay.
scale. But I remember actually one of my colleagues, he's also Korean. He developed the memorable tourism experience scale, right? And in his subsequent research, because as we said, he wants to include as many variables as possible. So he used his own version of his own simplified version. There are 7, if I remember correctly, uh, the scale has 7 or 6 dimensions.
Okay.
He used the very first item from each of the dimensions, and
Okay.
then go a strict process of validation to show, okay, the short variant is still valid and reliable.
And another one is you explained the 5 Likert scale. Uh, as you know, some of scholars use a 7 Likert scale,
Oh, yes,
or
yes.
9 Likert scale, or 11 Likert scale, or 3 Likert scale. So can you explain why some people use different Likert scale and for measuring the one concept?
Okay, that's very important. Actually, in the next 2 slides, I'm going to talk about this
Sure. Thank
important
you.
issue. Let's move on. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Let's just skip this one, because this ratio scale is not commonly used in our research, because we assume there are a proportion relationship between the intervals. It is category. It is about a category. It is about a rank. It is also about the equal intervals, and it has a relationship of proportion of ratio. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is a very important. No, okay. This is all about discrimination. How can you differentiate? In China, I'm not sure if this is the case for Korea, but in China, in the Chinese context, researchers has shown that Chinese respondents influenced by the doctrine of the mean, right? We don't want to go to the streams. We want to avoid streams. So if you use a 5-point scale, a lot of people, sometimes the majority of the people, they would choose the middle point, 3, right? But so in this situation would be very bad for our research. So if we use a 7-point scale, there are actually more response options. You can tell the differences between strongly disagreeing and disagree. So you will have more options. It will make our measurement more discriminative. So this is also the case. This is the same logic why we are using 9 points, right? 9 points or even 10 points. So why 6 points, 8 points, or 10 points? It's all about to avoid the influence of the doctrine of the mean. Sometimes, oh, I'm not sure if I am satisfied with the restaurant. Okay, just so. Okay, maybe we give it a 3, or we give it a 4. But in the case of 6 point or 8 point or 10 point, there is no middle point. You can't just be those in Chinese, just like I don't want to go to extremes. But so my strategy is when I develop a scale, I use a 7-point scale. But if I want to do comparison, or if I want to be consistent with our international counterparts, we use the 5-point scale for the well-established scales, because you don't know if you change the 5-point to the 7-point, what is going to happen. For example, let me use my own case. So let's look at the intervals. The 1 represents strongly disagreeing, 2 disagreeing, slightly disagreeing, neutral, slightly agree, strongly agree. So if you are facing Chinese respondents in Chinese, it is not easy to tell the respondents the differences in Chinese. Even in English, we tried, because I'm not a native speaker. So sometimes I need to survey those international tourists. So I want to be sure that the intervals are accurate. But sometimes I have a problem. I slightly disagreeing, totally disagree. I don't agree a little bit. So this would cause a problem. So for some people, for some research, they just don't give you the titles. They don't give you the titles. Just 1 represent strongly disagree, and then at the very another end, 10 strongly agree. So you give a number. So we don't have to show you a 4 represent neutral. So that would solve a lot of problems. So this is also the case, but the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. This is the original one. You can find this in the website. So I'm not sure if I am qualified. I'm able to change the intervals. So I stick to the original one to maybe a little to show my respect, or to. So that would be because this has been validated in many different countries. So I think maybe it also applies in China. So let's move on. Another very important concern. Yes, maybe when you design a questionnaire, you are curious. Can we use reverse worded items? Yes, in Western countries, in English language surveys, there are a lot of reverse worded items to detect if you are careful enough. If you read my items, for example, the first question is, I hate this brand. The second question is, I love this brand, and you agree for both. So I know you are cheating. You are not reading my questionnaire carefully. But in China, we have done the research. Actually, in marketing research, it has been proven this is not good because of two reasons in Chinese philosophy or in Chinese culture. Because of one is one is something we have talked about, the doctrine of the mean and the principle of the yin and the yang. So in China or in Chinese culture, there is no such a thing called absolute right, absolute wrong. So sometimes we can't tell the distinct differences between white and right. So when we fill in the questionnaire, all of them are positive worded items. All of a sudden, there is a reverse worded item. It will let me see. It will cause chaos. It will make us confused. So it can lead to cognitive ambiguity and confusion. Sometimes it will cause the pollution of the entire environment. If you're lucky enough, you maybe the construct is polluted, not the entire environment. But sometimes you're not lucky enough. The whole questionnaire could be invalidated. So this is not something that we want to see. So let me give you one example. To show how important for us to try to not include a reverse worded questionnaire. So this is a common practice. We translate those mainstream psychological and behavioral skills in our own research, in our own language. So you can see from this, those with a red square are reverse worded. This is about how you value yourself, how you think you are as capable as others. It's about self-esteem. So number three, all in all, I'm inclined to feel I'm a failure. So when you are a person of high self-esteem, so when you choose strongly disagree, the researchers they needed they needed to turn number 1 to 5, because this means you are you think very high of yourself, right? So number 5, I feel I do not have much to be proud of. Number 9, I certainly feel useless at the times. Number 10, at the time, I think I'm not good at all. There are so many. Five. There are 5 of them, half of them negative, reverse worded. But please look at number 8. I wish I could have more respect for myself. I don't know the situation in Korea, but in China, it can be translated into something like, I hope in the future I can have more respect. Respondents, many researchers would think this is a positive one. I hope I can have more respect, which means I have respect now, right? But another translation is a negative one. I wish I could have more in the future, which means currently I don't have respect. I'm superstatic. I think I'm not respected. So this is a negative one. So in different variants, different Chinese variants, they have different practice. So this will cause a lot of troubles. Let me move on to another question, another
One question,
situation. Okay.
like a slightly different the sentiment between Western language and Eastern language when we are translate. Uh, so retranslate or again we measuring something like that. But these days, because of AI, translate very well. So in
Hmm.
this case, uh, we don't need to concern about this translation anymore, or still we need to check the cultural background.
Oh yes. I actually I don't think they are conflicting. I think AI has changed a lot, so the translation has been more and more accurate. So this happened in a long time ago. This is a case for us to talk about the translation, back translation. Yes, if you want to get published in international journals, we have to show that these items or this questionnaire has been translated into Chinese, Korea, and then back translated to English by professional native speakers. And now we can see we use the ChatGPT, but uh, AI has helped us solved this uh, cultural difference. So we can do a much better job now. But we still need to pay attention, not to it's not just about a translation. So I have another case. If you have if you are interested in uh, this area, this is what we call the perceived destination restorative quantities. It is about a destination's quantities, a destination's attributes that can make you refresh, that can make you regenerate, that can make you restore. So you are back to the daily life, so that you have enough capabilities, you have very good mental health, physical status to restart your life. So this is about the good side of a destination. But in a study published in Journal of Travel Research about 12 years ago, Leto, a U.S. Chinese researcher developed this skill based in environmental psychology, and there is one construct called discord, which means the destination is a mess, is a confusing place. There are just so many things going on. I want to cross-culturally validate this skill in China because I want to use it for my future research. So I did a validation work. So here comes the problem. When we design this questionnaire, we translated it into Chinese, and we did a pilot survey. Some respondents told me, oh, because we have a cover letter, we have a conversation before the questionnaire. So some of the respondents told us, oh, you are talking about the restorative qualities. It's the good side of a destination that can help us restore. But what about those items you are measuring? This place is chaotic, this place is confusing, this place is distractive. They are not quantities in Chinese. In our simple philosophy, they are not the attributes, the good side, the attributes. Okay, this is one side. Let's move on to the statistic analysis. Actually, I'm not going into details of statistics, but as you can see from the descriptive statistics of measurement items, in the very first stage, you can see the courtesies, the scrutinies are not satisfactory. But luckily, all the items, all the constructs, they are not affected. So no matter by conceptualization or by statistic analysis, those reverse worded items, they are not suitable. At least I can guarantee, maybe I can only guarantee in my research, they are not suitable. So my suggestion, my recommendation is try not to include reverse worded items to avoid potential risks. Okay, I'm not going to the details. So this has been answered. Let's be because of time limit. So what is the up-to-date progress of measurement in hospitality and tourism? We are currently writing a paper. The data has been curated, has been analyzed. All we needed to do is to present the results in an academic paper. So we searched in those SSSI Q1 journals in tourism and hospitality, and we also included 2 Chinese journals, the tourism science and the tourism trip, because we initially we want to get it published in a Chinese journal. So in the early stage, we included those 2 journals. Maybe in the future, we are going to exclude the data from these 2 journals. So in total, why? I want to explain why the year of 2008, because I published a paper about the progress before 2008. Actually, I want to have a catch up. I want to have a follow up research. Let me show you. We have a data set of 328 papers. So we want to know what has been researched, what topic, what themes have been studied, especially have a measurement scale developed. As you can see from the table, tourists are always the focus. They account about 60% of all the published skill development papers. So, which means tourists are the respondents. They are going to, they are required to fill in a questionnaire, a skill. They are the targeted audience. And as we can see, tourism employees, which means in hospitality, in tourist attractions, the employees, they are measured. And destination residents. So you can still see there's maybe a huge potential if you want to develop a new measurement. Destination residents, they can still offer you a opportunity to develop related measurement skills. So that tourism destination, it's a little bit complicated because the topic is about a tourism destination. For example, the tourism destination governance. They can target tourists, they can target managers, they can target officials. Okay, so but tourist destination attributes, tourism employees, they are specifically targeted. Okay. From this slide, you can see in the very early stage, the purpose of my my study in this specific area is I want to know if the published skills, whether they are following the procedures. So you can see most of them are doing a good job. 77% of the studies defined the conceptualized the phenomena in the very beginning of the paper, or at least in the literature section. So about how to generate the initial items, 73 of them use multiple methods, including literature review, interviews, and other techniques. In the past, people tend to use single method, but now more and more people are trying to include different quantitative techniques. 77% of the studies employ quantitative review by experts to purify the initial items. So by now, skill development in tourism has established a mature or increasingly mature preliminary paradigm, a model that is theory-driven, supplemented by quantitative exploration and validated by experts. Let's move on to the technical part. As you can see that almost 90% of the studies, they used exploratory factor analysis, but as you can see, there are still 12% of them did not report EFA. That is maybe because they are validating the previously developed skills. They don't have to perform EFA again. I think this is understandable. But we needed to be very cautious. We need to be very uh, concerned that still we have almost 33 of the studies that did not specify the rotation method. Because in my understanding, because I published a lot of skill development papers, what I will try to do is to try my best to specify the whole process. In my understanding, skill development is 1% conceptualization, 99% of technique work, but the 1% is almost the most important one. All you need to do is to statistic analysis, and the analysis. So let's move on. In terms of confirmative factor analysis and the model optimization strategies, the majority of the studies conducted confirmative factor analysis, and almost 55% of them used the maximum likelihood estimation method. Okay, I'm not going to the details. I will revisit those results in the coming part. About reliability and validity testing.
Professor Huang,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about the slide. Okay, CFA and EFA. In case of CFA, is not so difficult to classify each factor, but however, EFI is quite overlapping and mixed with other variables. So, through your experience, how can you cleansing the raw data to keep the internal validity through the EFA?
Oh, that is also very this is a very professional question. Thank you. Actually, yes. This question comes to me quite often, to my students, to my research team quite often. One strategy is that we always need to have a theory. That
Uh,
is what I'm going to talk about.
uh,
With a theory, you have a framework.
uh,
With a theory, we know the dimensions,
mm,
and then we design the items within the structure. So this
mm,
is the very first and the very most important step.
mm,
But sometimes, as you said, always the one expected item just loaded in another unexpected factor. This happens always. So another strategy is to develop as many items as possible. So you have enough items to remove, to delete in the coming rounds of EFA. So we have to do EFA time and time again.
mm,
I have an experience,
mm,
which I will share in my next PowerPoint. We conducted a research. The students and we ran over 30
mm,
rounds of EFA to
mm.
have a satisfactory solution.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes EFA is science.
Mm,
Sometimes EFA is an art.
mm,
So you need to have a full understanding of the theory, of the
mm,
structure, of the items, of the
mm,
context.
mm,
So sometimes you can just you can't just explain it in scientific way.
mm, mm.
Okay.
Right.
So
Good.
about okay. Let me be very quick because reliability testing has become a standard practice. So you have to. So as I said, this area is becoming more and more mature. Let me talk about this in the coming slides. Okay, nomenological, because we actually, if you read the requirements, in tourism management, or if you read the recent papers published in tourism management, no skill development at all. The requirement says we do not publish a single skill development paper. If you want to publish your skill development paper, this skill has to be just one study of the whole research, So which means the skill the skill you developed has to be put into a larger network for theoretical examination. So you developed the skill of this specific construct, and then you use this struct in the theoretical framework. So it is just a very tiny part of a bigger job. So, but in Journal of Travel Research, we can still see a single skill development work published. We still have opportunities. Okay, let's move on to because of the time limit. Okay, but we are actually communicated, so we don't have to worry about the time too much. So we still have 38 slides. So the first, because we have so many PhD students, maybe in your PhD dissertation, developing or validating a skill is just one part or one chapter of your study. This is often the case because yesterday, a PhD student, one of my PhD students just passed the oral defense. In her PhD dissertation, she developed two skills, and then used those two skills in her theoretical model. So about 6 studies, 2 studies focused on skill development. So it's not about if you want to develop a measurement skill or not. It is sometimes you have to. So I will introduce to you the procedures, the basic procedures. We have 2 variants of the process of developing a skill. This is the variant 1, but I would like to use the variant 2. The variant 2, they are actually identical, but they are presented in different manners. The first procedure is, as I said, the first one or the first 2 are always the most important. Of course, number 8 is about develop norms, which means you have to develop meanings, significance of this developed skill. But we mostly we focus on step 1 to step 7. Let's move on to step 1. Step 1, actually determine the domain. You want to conceptualize, you want to mirror, you want to operationalize a very interesting phenomena, a new phenomena. And this phenomena, for you, you think there's no such a measurement, so you needed to develop a new one. So the first thing is what I am talking about. What is the phenomena? What concept can I use to conceptualize phenomena? So what are the possible domains? Yeah, domain 1, domain 2, domain 3. Oh, reviewer would say, oh, you missed a very important aspect of this concept. Oh, so your skill is not valid enough. So I have one recipe, actually one recipe. People always wanted me to give recipe, but I would say the first one is, the second one is, and the third one is always read literature and find a theory. Why find a theory, or even sometimes theories is important. Let me. Oh, okay. This is some cases. This slide shows the 3 cases I use. We developed backpacker identity. we were so lucky. We have it published in Journal of Travel Research. In this research, we used social identity theory because social identity theory is quite suitable for us to conceptualize backpacker identity. Backpacker identity is about how backpackers think they are backpackers. This is a group identity. They think I think I'm one of the backpackers. So this is just about I think I'm Chinese. I think I'm one of them. So we use social identity theory. Social identity theory tells us uh, every person, each person has a motivation, has a tendency to classify himself or herself as a member of a group. This is the very first proposition. The second proposition is that he or she would like to think highly of the group she or her belongs to. This is what we call self-esteem, or the first one is self-categorization, followed by self-esteem, and then commitment. If you think you are you are Chinese, you are backpacker, and you think being a backpacker is so good in the future, would you like to define being a backpacker? With somebody say something bad about backpackers, would you defend them? You have a commitment. So we think this theory is so suitable. So we use this social identity theory. So we want to go beyond those three dimensions. So we develop the domains, the three domains, and then we develop our items to specify the dimensions. So this is the basic logic. And for honeymooners, why do people want to have a honeymoon? This is the question I ask. Why you can oh, why do you travel to an overseas destination to have your honeymoon? You can stay in Guangzhou to spend your honeymoon. So honeymoon means travel and honey. So it's actually a combination of love and travel. So you need to have a theoretical foundation. So we used the triangle theory of love, Sternberger, and then we combine this theory and the travel motivation literature. So we justify our theoretical framework. And as we talked about the restorative quantities, we used the attention restorative theory. Okay, I will not go into details.
Okay. Hey, Professor Chen,
Uh-huh.
this is a fundamental question for you. Okay, there are the like a record to scale, scale development paper is definitely necessary and needed for measuring new phenomenon.
Yes.
Tourism is a phenomenon and the reality. So something new phenomenon and something new trend emerged that is should be measured and should be developed for measuring the concept and the phenomenon. That's why we need to study scale development and then develop the framework for the concept. Uh, and we developed the measurement scale and items for measuring tools. However, nonetheless, like honeymoon and the backpacker and Chinese vacationers, which each all of us, each all of those phenomenon and the trend and the reality is, even though it's true, but is how about actually it's a little bit boring to investigate on again and again scale development. So
Oh, yes.
why didn't you do study on something very very different, uh, type of study and methodologically approach? bit more, things repeatedly developing the scale development, returning for new concept, isn't it?
Oh,
Is it fun or interesting? Well, my
yes,
opinion.
that is a very important concern. Actually, I think you're not
Uh,
alone. A lot of
uh,
experts ask the same question.
uh,
As I said, that depends how you define, how you justify
uh,
the necessity, the need of such a skill.
uh,
Actually, as I said, if you want
uh,
to get a single skill development study published in top tier journals, it's getting more and more difficult. But sometimes, if you when you see something new, when you see
mm,
some phenomena that is very important, but
mm, mm,
currently you don't have
mm,
a established skill
mm,
to marry it, but you have
mm,
to marry it.
mm,
So you needed to develop a new one. So I think this is a trend,
uh,
and I'm also
uh,
suggesting
okay.
don't be too optimistic
Uh,
if you want to get your single
uh,
measurement skill development published in top tier journals.
okay.
But if you really need to, you
Uh,
really need a new skill, you can use it as one of the many studies of a bigger research project. So
uh-huh.
this is why recently, recently I don't get published uh, the skills. I don't get my skills developed singly, not one of them. But I would like to use them in one of my studies.
Okay.
Maybe in many of them are under review.
Uh,
Uh, measurement development is just one of the many studies.
so
So.
Chen, you are expert on this field, scale development,
Mhm,
and you already paper published top tier journals.
mhm,
So these days, I also, with my students, I also developed a scale development for smart tourism washing, which is opposite side of smart tourism.
mhm,
A lot of its idea derived from greenwashing,
mhm,
like deceptive marketing
mhm,
for green strategy.
mhm,
So that is coming from brainwashing,
mhm,
and based on top of the concept of brainwashing and green marketing guys, they are developed greenwashing scale development, and I
mhm,
got an idea, and I developed a smart tourism, which is already settled down, but because of the new trend of smart tourism that was 10 years ago, and
mhm,
a lot of destination and provinces and companies, they are fastly developing and adopt smart tourism. For example, AI and AR, VR, metaverse, and applications and website, and then they are trying to deceive users, something like a not so well processing, or sometimes error, or sometimes not functioning well, or misreading, miswording, misvisual sort of things. So I think if I submitted that scale development paper, the paper statistically or probability goes to you.
mhm.
What's your think, your opinion about that?
Uh, to me personally,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I value skill development studies. That is one of my research areas.
Uh-huh.
But as I said, uh, sometimes we develop a skill
Uh-huh.
for a specific purpose.
Uh-huh.
We want to use it in the future, empirical research,
Uh-huh.
theoretical research. So when I evaluate a skill,
Mm,
the first thing I want to pay attention to is the originality, the novelty of this phenomena. If I think this phenomena is new, is important, and we needed to quantify
mm,
this phenomena for future
Yes.
theoretical research. So, okay, that is
So
good.
my question is, so what do you think about the smart tourism washing?
I need to, maybe if I have the opportunity to review this paper, I can have more details of the importance of this phenomena. Currently, because I don't know too much about smart tourism, but I do think we no matter in which discipline we needed to have contextualized measurement. We can't
Okay.
just use those measurements in other context.
Okay.
So we need to have specific measurement. But
Okay.
one concern is who are going to use the measurement skill, just by
Okay.
your team or just by a broader researchers. So,
Okay. Researchers and the practitioners.
yes,
Mm,
yes.
and the
So we can always
guideline
just
for for travelers stakeholders. Together.
yeah. But actually, one of the evaluation, we have done a lot of evaluations of the current the existent skills. One of the evaluations about the citations, the
Uh,
actual applications of those developed skills.
uh,
Uh, we want to know if they are truly
uh.
this is the best practice. This is the trend. So the majority of the published skill development studies, they used a lot of methods to help develop the initial items. So about the size of the initial items, not the more not it is not the more the better, but you need to know if you so most of them uh, 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 the almost half of them atom pool between 26 to 50. Even many of the studies, they developed initial atom pool more than 50 atoms. In my case, actually we developed atom pool of 89. So we go through the different process, expert focus group, tourists, potential tourists, actual tourists, and they at the end of uh, the validation stage, there may be only 30 items validated, and they are still too much. So maybe in the future we can develop a shortened version. Okay. One very important case is that we really needed to showcase how we get all the items. So here we have theory to define the whole structure, the different dimensions, and then we have supporting evidence source. We have literature, future past studies, and we also have insights from experts. We have theory, we have literature, we have quantitative studies. So this is how we developed the initial item pool. Let's move on to step 3 and step 4, purification. How to purify, because we have so many raw items. Many of them are not mature enough. So the majority used quantitative analysis by experts. We send the initial item pool to experts in this field to ask for their feedback. So we can further remove many of them, or we can refine the statement. So method one is actually to discuss with group members, and then we send the items, the dimensions to experts for their review, and then we modified. This is also the case for the survey. Pilot test. The pilot test is actually asking us to send the questionnaires to the respondents to help us refine the items. So the majority, not the majority, almost 35% of the studies, they use this process to organize the wording through feedbacks. And I want to remind that the pilot study, the samples cannot be recycled, cannot be reused in the future in the subsequent analysis, because the purpose of pilot test is just for us to refine the item pool. Okay. Let's move on to data collection. Actually, there are two typical approaches. More and more studies, they collected data in different stages, which means you collect a data set for pilot and a second one for EFA, and then after purification, you use you use the refined scale investigation to collect the data. And then maybe you also needed to refine the statement, and then you use the new questionnaire, you use the new scale for a data set for criteria related validity or nomenological studies. Actually, we need at least 4 data sets, or at least three data sets for different stage, for different purposes. Now, okay, and the other approach is time or one-off collection. You can collect all the needed questionnaires, or maybe over 1,000 copies, and you use them for different purposes. For example, in the EFA stage, a lot of items were deleted. Okay, you can just use the other half of the sample, but you do not include those removed items. This is also a commonly practiced method. So I will also use 3 of my research. In the first research, this is what we call the staged collection. In step 1, we collect data for EFA, and then we use the refined scale to. And for the honeymooners research, we collect the data actually in 4 rounds, but we used the same questionnaire. But we collected the data in 3 different times, in 3 different time periods. But we still call it a one-time collection, because the scale has always been the same, but we use different items in different stages. Okay. let's move on to reliability and validity. As I mentioned, just statistic analysis, and analysis. Maybe I should be quick. The majority used principal component analysis method, and many of the research they didn't even report how the factors rotation method is used. I will not, because of the time limit, I'm not going to talk about the different statistic methods. Just one slide. That is, many people, many statistic experts, they suggest that we should use the principal axis factor method. And actually, the majority, the mainstream, the mainstream trend is using principal component analysis. I tried in my study. In one of my studies, I tried both. Actually, the results are very similar. But if you are very interested in statistic analysis, they would say, okay, you should use principal axis factor method because the preconception is different. If the dimensions are connected, you should use the principal axis factors. But actually, in tourism and hospitality, under one concept, under one construct, the different dimensions, they are more or less connected. But this is not the most important point. Okay, so about performing EFA, the majority, over half of the studies, they used engine value to determine the number of them of dimensions. And let's move on to the stability. The reliability and the validity. And I want to make two key suggestions. Let's move. Let's start from uh, the definitions of construct validity. This, when we see validity in scale, we talk about the construct validity. This is about the how valid is this measurement. So, but actually in academic research, we also talk about internal validity, uh, external validity, and the statistic collusion validity. So let's move on to this picture. As you can see, uh, guided by the proposition of a theory, there must be a correlation or causality between concept A and the concept B. Okay, so under guided by the proposition of a theory in our specific context, we need to develop hypotheses, independent variables, dependent variables. So when we talk about construct validity, we are talking about how can we measure, or, whether we are measuring what we are supposed to measure. If we are doing the correct thing, you want to measure sympathy. So you need to develop items that are measuring sympathy, not empathy. Okay, this is the the key point. This is all about the to what extent what we are measuring is actually the thing we want to measure. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
mhm,
Chen.
huh,
Here's question about the theoretical level.
mhm,
Okay, we are at the we there is a phenomenon and trend and the issue,
mhm,
and we are finding a theoretical uh, foundational frame or theory for
mhm.
for explaining the phenomenon. So we need a
Yes.
certain specific theory,
Mhm,
and this theory, okay, and we are developing uh, the empirical level and
mhm,
measuring causal inference to measure the dependent variable.
mhm.
How about the other way, like theorizing, not
Yeah.
theoretical lens, but theorizing
Mhm.
from 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 the bottom?
Yeah.
Uh, it's not a matter of scale development. It's a matter of causal inference valid test. So what do you think about that case?
Oh, yes. Actually, when we talk about construct validity, actually, I want to, in this slide, I want to put construct validity in a broader landscape.
Mm.
In scale development, we are going to talk about construct validity itself, but in empirical research, what you mentioned, I agree with what you mentioned. Uh, uh, Sometimes we have bottom up theorizing. We theorize what we observe in real world. We conceptualize those phenomena. So if you can theorize, abstract what you observed, the relationship between IVs and DVs to a upper level, maybe you are building a new theory, or at least you are challenging, you are refining, rebuilding a current theory. This is what we see the external validity. Your research, the relationships between IVs and DVs is not just limited to the specific context. It can be generalized to a upper level, to maybe to challenge current theories or build uh, a new theory. What I want to mention is that what we want to mirror, we want to use items, we want to use construct to collect data. But the items, the constructs, they need to be inconsistent. They need to be consistent with the meanings, with the connotation of a concept. So this is, you can see from this arrow, construct validity. So there are different levels. So if you go deeper, there may be a, a lower level, which means uh, when you want to measure satisfaction, the IV. So down, uh, you have 5 or 4 items. The items have to reflect satisfaction. So upper. So when you want to, for example, if we use SOR theory, a very commonly used theory, you stimulus. So concept A is stimulus. So in your context, in your specific research, what can be regarded as a stimulus? It could be the landscape. It could be the servicescape. But even down, so servicescape, how to measure servicescape. So the items should be focused on servicescape, not the weather, right? So this is what I want to talk about. So different levels. Okay, I will continue to talk about
Sure.
validity. This is the basic. Uh, this is the basic background. Okay, because of time limit, I will just skip. Reliability. Reliability means we have actually 3 types of reliability. Inter-rater reliability. We with one scale, uh, well, we have 2 scores. We have 2 scores. We want to calculate the consistency between these 2 scales to determine this kind of reliability, and move on to split half reliability. As I said, as we talked about, for some for some long scales, they have more than 30 scales. So actually, I know there is a social behavior scale, 34 scales. It has A version and B version, and it has been examined. It has been tested. It has been proven that the A version and the B version, they are almost the same. They can generate exactly the same significant, statistically the same results. So the A version and the B version. Okay, you can choose each. You can choose either one of them. So this skill has a very high split half reliability. Now we also want to talk about the internal consistency reliability, which means the items inside the dimension, they are staying together. They are highly consistent to each other. And because we are developing a composite construct, not just one single item. We are talking about 3 items, 4 items within a dimension. So we can also examine the composite reliability. In this studies composite reliability and then Cronbach alpha. This is the commonly used techniques. So I will just be quick. And now we talk about the validity of the construct, about the construct, not about the external relationships. We talk about the validity of the construct itself. So as I mentioned, there are actually 2 different approaches. The first one is theoretical evaluation. Theoretically, if what you're measuring is actually what this dimension, this construct means. To what extent? So face validity just means the surface. When you read this sentence, are you measuring this? So a very simple question, a very simple example is, we can use the frequency of a person's participation, the number of times, the frequency in religious praying, right? So to serve as an indicator of their piety. So if you think you are a very loyal, you are one of the believers, so we can use this indicator. Oh, when we read this this item, oh, we think this is right. This makes sense. So this is about face validity. So this face validity can be tested by using a group of experts, or we can send it to potential respondents to see how the feedback, if they can understand or if they have any difficulties. About content validity, we needed to use a theory. Maybe only experts can do this job, because we want to measure to what degree a series of items match the scope of the construct being surveyed, being tested. For example, if we want to measure restaurant service satisfaction, it is about restaurant, it is about service, it is about your satisfaction. So you cannot just measure food quality. No, that is not enough. That does not meet the full scope of the construct. So experts can give you feedback, or according to literature, you need to at least include waiter's attitude, timeliness, and all kinds of other things. So this is content validity. So let me move on to the empirical evaluation. So we need in the theoretical evaluation, we use we are guided by a theory or guided by theories. In empirical evaluations, we are talking about 4 types of validity. Now, the journals, the reviewers, they are getting more and more. They are being more and more strict, right? They have stricter requirements. So with better report all the 4 types of validity tests results: convergent validity, discriminant validity, nomological validity. Actually, we have different names. Actually, concurrent validity, predictive validity are all criteria related validity, which means if you claim you developed a new construct, you conceptualize conceptualize a new phenomena, it has to have the power to predict all the variables. It is not a lonely planet in the sky. So this is what we call criteria-related validity as consequences. But now, as I said, we are progressing. So the nomological validity, that means the newly developed scale, the newly conceptualized construct, not only can predict other variables, it has to be predicted by other variables. So the newly developed construct, the scale, is put and examined in a broader nomological network guided by theory. So this is why I said in the very beginning, in tourism management, a single scale development is not enough. You need to put it in a larger network. So it is not just a methodological paper. It is actually a theoretical paper. Methodological innovation, scale development is just one of the studies. One of the studies that you need to better your measurement. Okay, so there are many different ways to test the validity. As I said, convergent validity means the high correlation among the atoms of the same construct. As you can see from KL 1, 2, 3, 3 atoms, PF 1, 2, 3, F 1, 2, 3. PF is another construct, KL is a construct. So as you can see, right, KL 1, there are high correlations between those KL atoms, but there are very, very low correlation between different atoms of the two constructs. So what should be together are actually together because you measure the thin dimension. You should be together, but you should stay away from other construct because we are not measuring that construct. Of course, you can also conduct a factor analysis. The loadings, for example, KL1, they all loaded highly in factor 1, but lowly in factor 2. The same goes to PF, the factor. As actually, if we look at this table, we can find that the majority of the published papers on skill development, they have reported content validity, and this is also a very good practice to include convergent validity. But when almost 85% of the papers they conducted discriminant validity, but this is not maybe things are getting better, but overall, only 44% of the published papers reported their criteria validity. When it comes to nomological validity, I think this is just in different papers, people use different terms because, as I said, nomological validity is actually the broader term. It covers criteria validity. Criteria validity means the developed construct has something to do or can predict other variables as consequence, but it can but more than that, nomological validity means it can be predicted. So actually, some paper they only reported criteria validity, but it claims the exempt nomological validity. Okay, they are not wrong because the criteria validity is just part of the nomological validity. So this is something I need to elaborate a little bit. Okay, so concurrent and predictive validity. Okay, as I said, you can use SPSS for regression analysis, or you can use you say SEM, or sometimes you can just do correlation. That depends on if you can find a theory for you to develop the hypothesis. So because they are published papers, okay, so they must have gone through the valid tests. Okay, so I will not go into details. But in these two papers, we did not examine the antecedent of the examined construct. For example, backpack identity. We only examine the correlation with other variables to show its concurrent validity, because we do not find a theory for prediction. So maybe at this moment we can only justify it is correlated to other variables. This is a minimal requirement. Okay. So if you are interested in scale development and you want to find a well-established scale in tourism and hospitality, and you don't want to develop a new one, or maybe you can read this book. Okay, so this comes to the end of my presentation today. So maybe there is no time for maybe there is not too much time for us to communicate, because we have been interacting. Professor Ku has done a very good job, because he asked the very, very important questions that I want to discuss. Maybe these are the questions that all of you are concerned with. So if you have any further questions, we can have a question and answer session. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for being here, for listening.
Okay.
I think that's.
谢谢
Thank you.
谢谢 Oh, very good. This is a very important topic and methodology for scale development issue. And he is an expert of scale development and validity test, which is basically necessary for proving the trend and phenomenon in our field. So if you have any questions, you can contact him by email to him. And scale development is very time consuming and very complicated, processing. But because of him, today we can slightly understand how we can approach to scale development, and this is quite a good, lecture for students who have interest in scale development and validity testing. Okay. Any question from one students?
Yeah, Professor, I have a questions.
Mm.
Thanks for Professor Chen's lectures. Development about forecourt smart tourism that was smart tourism washing. But recently, in the top tier, for example, in general customer research, marketing science, there are more and more research, not only have the skill development, also have the experimental design. What do you think about this research or this paper?
Okay. I think you have observed a very important trend, right?
Yeah,
Experiment. So
experiment design.
yeah, actually, as we always say, in China, it's getting there are so much competition, right? You want to get published. So
Yeah.
what can we do? So we conduct a lot of, or even more, studies. So we even combine different research approaches. So when you want to do a experiment, sometimes you need to mirror. So experiments are not against skill development. Actually, as I mentioned, one of my PhD students, she conducted 6 studies. 2 of them are skill development, and then she used the skill to collect data in